They say the first hour after waking is the most important one of your entire day, and science might just prove that true. Because according to a 2023 study from the University of California, adults over 65 who began their morning with a specific kind of movement, slow, mindful stretching paired with deep breathing, showed a 32% increase in cellular longevity markers compared to those who remained sedentary in the first hour after waking. 32%. That's not a small number. That's the kind of shift that can literally add years to a person's life. Think about it. Every morning, most of us wake up and go straight into motion. Coffee, phone, news, stress. But the body, especially after 60, isn't designed to leap from rest into rush. It's designed to wake slowly, to unfold like the petals of a flower greeting the sun. The first 10 minutes after waking are like the ignition of your entire biological engine. The heartbeat, the lungs, the joints, the circulation. And when we start that process gently, intentionally, something extraordinary happens. The body begins to repair itself. I once met a 78-year-old retired teacher who told me her secret. Every morning before breakfast, she spent 15 minutes on her balcony. Not running, not lifting weights, just stretching her arms to the sky, rolling her shoulders, and taking deep breaths of morning air. "It's my way of telling my body I'm still here," she said, smiling. Her skin glowed, her energy was calm, and her blood pressure normal, without medication. What she was doing, unknowingly, was stimulating her body's natural nitric oxide release, improving oxygen flow, and resetting her circadian rhythm for the entire day. It's easy to overlook something so simple. We think longevity comes from big efforts, diets, supplements, or complicated routines. But what if it begins with something as small as how we wake up? When you start your day in stress, cortisol spikes and inflammation rises. But when you begin it in calm, your parasympathetic system, your body's natural healing mode, switches on. That's not magic. That's biology, and here's where the story deepens. Researchers at Harvard Medical School found in a 2020 longevity study that people who began each morning with 10 minutes of gentle movement and breathing showed lower inflammation levels by 18% and better mitochondrial function, the powerhouses of our cells. In simpler words, their cells stayed younger, longer. It's proof that small, consistent habits have a compounding effect over time, not just on how long we live, but how well we live. Because the truth is, longevity isn't about adding more years to life. It's about adding more life to the years you already have. That first quiet hour after waking, before the phone rings, before the day begins, is your window of opportunity. The moment your body is most ready to heal, to rebuild, to remember its rhythm. Whether it's light stretching, slow walking, mindful breathing, or even stepping outside to feel the morning air, what matters is the consistency. A message to your body that says, "I'm here. I'm listening." Let's do this together. This simple act strengthens balance, protects the heart, and enhances brain function by increasing oxygen and blood flow to the hippocampus, the area that controls memory and learning. Over time, this one quiet ritual in the morning can reduce the risk of falls, improve digestion, lower blood pressure, and even help regulate sleep at night. The body loves patterns, and when those patterns align with nature, waking with light, moving with intention, it responds in remarkable ways. So tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone or your coffee, pause, take a breath. Let the sunlight touch your face, stretch gently, and remind yourself, you are alive right now. The first few minutes of your day may be the difference between decline and renewal, between aging fast and aging well. And when we finally understand how the body responds to these small changes, everything about health begins to make sense. When you begin each morning with gentle movement, you're doing far more than loosening your joints. You're awakening the deepest layers of your biology. The first few minutes after sleep are when your blood pressure is still low, your circulation is slow, and your nervous system is shifting from rest to alertness. By stretching, rolling your shoulders, or taking a short, slow walk, you guide this transition naturally, without the shock that comes from rushing into the day. This kind of mindful movement stimulates blood flow to the muscles, improves oxygen delivery to the brain, and jump-starts your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells that produce energy. When mitochondria are active and well oxygenated early in the day, They signal the body to release nitric oxide, expanding blood vessels and supporting heart and lung function throughout the morning. It's a small act with a chain reaction of benefits. Movement also activates what scientists call mechanotransduction, the process through which physical motion tells cells to repair, strengthen, and regenerate tissue. In older adults, where cellular renewal naturally slows, even 5 minutes of gentle stretching can increase muscle insulin sensitivity, improve glucose regulation, and help protect against the fatigue that often comes from inactivity. Researchers at the University of California observed that people over 65 who practiced simple morning stretches maintained healthier telomeres and the protective caps at the ends of DNA strands that shorten with age, resulting in a 32% improvement in longevity markers compared to those who stayed still after waking. I once met a retired craftsman who described his morning routine as waking up the body the same way you'd warm up an old engine. Before breakfast, he'd stand by his workshop window, slowly move his wrists, bend his knees, and breathe in the light of the new day. It's not exercise, he said. It's a conversation. And that's exactly what it is, a dialogue between your body and your life force, reminding your cells that movement still matters. Like sunlight reaching the leaves of a plant, these early moments of motion feed every system quietly and completely. Over time, that simple ritual can mean steadier balance, sharper memory, and a body that doesn't just survive the day, it thrives in it. Deep breathing in the morning is one of the most underestimated tools for health and longevity, yet its effects ripple through nearly every system in the body. When you take long, slow breaths, especially after waking, you activate the vagus nerve, the powerful communicator between your brain, heart, and digestive system. This activation shifts the body from sympathetic mode, the fight or flight state, into parasympathetic mode, the rest and repair system that governs healing, digestion, and cellular restoration. In this state, heart rate slows, blood vessels relax, and oxygen absorption improves dramatically. Each deep inhale increases oxygen exchange in the alveoli of your lungs, allowing red blood cells to carry more oxygen to tissues, including the brain. The result is clearer thinking, steadier energy, and improved mitochondrial function, the foundation of longevity itself. In fact, a 2020 Harvard Medical School study found that just 10 minutes of daily deep breathing practice could reduce inflammation markers by 18% and enhance mitochondrial efficiency, meaning your cells produce more energy with less waste. That's like tuning an engine to run smoother and last longer. The breath acts as both a messenger and a medicine, telling your body that it is safe, that it can stop fighting and start repairing. When this becomes a morning ritual, your cortisol levels, the hormones linked to stress and aging, naturally stabilize, protecting your heart, your immune system, and even your gut microbiome from imbalance. I once spoke with an 82-year-old gardener who swore by her morning breathing. Every sunrise, she'd stand barefoot on her porch, hands over her heart, and breathe slowly until she could feel warmth in her fingertips. It's like turning the lights on inside, she said. And in a way, she was right. Each breath delivers oxygen to the cells, awakening them, clearing away carbon dioxide, the body's internal clutter. Over time, this daily habit improves vascular elasticity, balances blood pressure, and even enhances digestion by gently massaging the organs with each deep inhale. Breath by breath, you're not just filling your lungs, you're reminding every part of your body to live fully, efficiently, and with calm purpose. Delaying screens and caffeine for just a few quiet minutes after waking may sound insignificant, yet this simple choice can completely reshape the chemistry of your morning and your health. The moment you open your eyes, your brain begins to regulate a delicate balance between two hormones, cortisol and melatonin. Cortisol rises naturally to help you feel alert, while melatonin fades to signal wakefulness. But when you immediately reach for your phone or take a strong cup of coffee, you disrupt this biological rhythm, sending your nervous system into a mild stress response before your body is ready. Your eyes absorb blue light from the screen, suppressing melatonin too abruptly, and the flood of information, messages, headlines, notifications, activates the amygdala, the part of the brain responsible for emotional processing and threat detection. Within seconds, your body produces a cortisol surge that can raise blood pressure, tighten blood vessels, and increase inflammation. Research from the University of Wisconsin in 2019 revealed that adults who engaged with digital screens within 10 minutes of waking experienced up to a 27% higher cortisol spike compared to those who delayed phone use until after morning movement or breakfast. This constant morning jolt may seem harmless, but over time, it exhausts the adrenal system and disrupts the body's natural circadian alignment, leading to fatigue, digestive imbalance, and reduced immune resilience. By contrast, giving yourself even 15 minutes before checking your phone or drinking caffeine allows your body to complete its natural wake-up cycle. During that time, your blood flow steadies, your oxygen levels increase, and your brain transitions smoothly from the slower theta waves of sleep to the focused alpha waves of calm. Attention! I remember speaking with a retired nurse who described her experiment of no phone before sunlight. Each morning, she'd sit quietly with her tea, open the curtains, and simply breathe. Within a week, she noticed something subtle but powerful. Her hands stopped trembling, her digestion improved, and her sleep became deeper. "It's like I finally gave my body permission to catch up with my mind," she said. That is exactly what these first peaceful moments do. They restore synchronization between the body's rhythms and the mind's impulses. In this calm state, your gut, your heart, and your brain begin the day in harmony, not in haste. Stepping into the morning light is one of the simplest and most powerful ways to support longevity, not just for the mind, but for every cell in the body. When sunlight touches your skin and eyes, it triggers a cascade of biological responses that tune your internal clock, known as the circadian rhythm. This rhythm governs everything from hormone production to digestion, blood pressure, and even how efficiently your cells repair DNA damage. The first light of morning, especially the soft, blue-enriched light between 6 and 9 a.m., signals the brain's suprachiasmatic nucleus to stop melatonin release and start producing serotonin, the neurotransmitter responsible for mood, focus, and motivation. Over time, this natural rhythm leads to better sleep at night, stronger energy during the day, and more stable emotional health. Scientifically, this early light exposure also affects mitochondrial function, the engines that power your cells. Research from Stanford University in 2021 found that seniors who received at least 10 minutes of morning sunlight daily had up to a 20% improvement in sleep efficiency and reported higher daytime alertness. That light exposure helps mitochondria regulate oxidative stress, which slows cellular aging. Sunlight on the skin also sparks the production of vitamin D, a hormone critical for immune strength, calcium absorption, and inflammation control. Low vitamin D levels have been linked to fatigue, mood decline, and weakened bones, all of which are preventable with consistent light exposure. I once met a 70-year-old retired musician who described his mornings as a duet with the sun. Every day, he'd step outside barefoot with his coffee, close his eyes, and feel the warmth on his face for 5 quiet minutes. "It resets me," he said, "like tuning my instrument before a performance." And that's exactly what light does. It tunes your body's internal systems, bringing them into harmony. Just as a plant turns toward the sun to grow stronger, our bodies too need that signal to awaken, align, and heal. With each sunrise, you're not only greeting a new day, you're recharging the body's natural rhythm that keeps you vibrant, balanced, and beautifully alive. Consistency is the quiet architect of longevity. It's not the intensity of what you do, but the regular rhythm of doing it that reprograms your biology over time. When a simple morning routine, gentle stretching, deep breathing, sunlight exposure, becomes a habit, it teaches your body what to expect each day. This predictability calms the nervous system and strengthens what scientists call homeostasis, the body's natural ability to maintain internal balance. Each repeated action, no matter how small, reinforces neural pathways in the brain, allowing healthy behaviors to become automatic. In biological terms, you're training your body's circadian memory, which coordinates metabolism, hormone release, and cellular repair on a 24-hour cycle. The National Institute on Aging confirmed in a 2022 report that adults over 65 who maintained consistent low-intensity activity reduced mortality risk by up to 35%. The reason lies deep within the cells. Consistency improves mitochondrial efficiency, the way your cells convert nutrients into usable energy. When the body receives steady signals of movement and calm at predictable times, mitochondria produce energy with less oxidative stress, meaning fewer free radicals that cause cellular damage. This steady state also benefits the gut microbiome, which thrives on routine. The microbes that support digestion, immunity, and even mood regulation adapt to consistent meal and movement patterns, creating a stronger, more resilient internal ecosystem. I once met a widowed grandfather who started taking 10-minute morning walks after breakfast just to stretch his legs, he said. A year later, he shared that he no longer needed his afternoon naps, and his blood sugar had stabilized for the first time in years. What changed wasn't just his fitness, it was his rhythm. His body learned what to expect, and in turn began to work with him rather than against him. Think of it like tending a garden. One day of watering won't do much, but a little every day transforms dry soil into fertile ground. The same is true for health. Small, consistent actions gently reshape the landscape of the body, one morning at a time. And that quiet reliability, built day by day, becomes the real foundation of a longer, steadier and more vibrant life. The truth is, lasting health after 65 doesn't come from doing everything. It comes from doing a few small things consistently and with care. These simple morning actions, moving gently, breathing deeply, delaying rush, stepping into light and repeating it daily, are far more powerful than any complex health trend. They work because they align with how your body is designed, to repair, to strengthen, and to find its natural rhythm again when given time and attention. So, don't aim for perfection, aim for presence. Even 2 mindful minutes tomorrow morning can begin to change how your body feels and responds. Every slow breath, every quiet stretch, every sunrise you allow yourself to see, they all add up quietly, beautifully over time. Your body already knows how to heal. All it needs is your patience and your consistency. Begin today gently. And if you'd like to stay inspired by future stories like this, feel free to subscribe, quietly without rush, so you can join us again when the next chapter unfolds.